All right, today we're diving into something pretty wild, a kind of financial metamorphosis that's frankly hard to believe. We're going to talk about what happens when a regular, everyday bank decides to completely reinvent itself. I mean, from the inside out.
So let's just kick things off with a question that honestly seems to break all the rules of modern finance. What if a bank, a business whose entire model is built on charging interest, just stopped? I mean, that sounds like financial suicide, doesn't it? But believe it or not, that's the very heart of the transformation we're looking at today.
Okay, so what this really boils down to is a massive, fundamental shift in thinking. You see, conventional banks, they make money from money, right? They charge interest on loans. Simple. But Islamic banks? They're forbidding from doing that. Their profits have to come from real-world stuff, financing actual assets, getting involved in trade, forming partnerships. It's a totally different engine running the whole show.
So you have to ask, why on earth would a bank even think about doing this? Well, the whole motivation really hinges on one single core principle. And that principle is avoiding what's known as riba. Now, put simply, riba is interest. It's making money from a loan without sharing in any of the risk. And under Sharia law, that is a firm no-go. So for a bank to become compliant, getting rid of riba isn't just some small adjustment. It is the entire mission.
To really get a sense of just how huge this is, try this analogy. Imagine a global fast food chain suddenly deciding it wants to be a Michelin-starred farm-to-table restaurant. It's not just about a new menu. We're talking new suppliers, new kitchens, new chefs, a completely new philosophy. Everything, and I mean everything, has to change from the ground up. And once that decision is made, well, there is no going back. This is truly the point of no return. This really shows you just how serious this commitment is. The rules are crystal clear. The second that conversion is announced, all new business based on interest stops. Poof, gone, immediately. There are no exceptions, no grace period. It is a full, hard stop. So how in the world does a bank actually pull this off? Let's take a look at the blueprint for this massive top-to-bottom overhaul. And wow, look at this. The process is incredibly methodical. You can't just wing it. It has to start right at the top with a Sharia supervisory board, basically a team of scholars to guide every single move. Then you've got to rewrite the bank's DNA, its actual bylaws. Then comes restructuring departments, redesigning every contract, and get this, retraining every single employee, from the person at the front desk all the way up to the CEO. It's a complete teardown and rebuild of the entire institution. But okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. What happens to all the interest the bank has already earned over the decades? This is where we see what you could call the great financial detox. I mean, this is the multi-billion-dollar question, right? A bank is sitting on this huge portfolio of interest-bearing loans, investments, you name it. You can't just press delete. So, what do you do with all that money? And the rules for handling this impermissible money, they're absolutely ironclad. First, you have to completely wall it off from the bank's new, clean money. It absolutely cannot be counted as profit. It can't go to shareholders. You can't even use it to pay the light bill for the bank. So what's the only option left? It has to be given away. All of it. To charities, to public works. The bank is literally, and I mean literally, not allowed to keep a single penny of profit from its past. The goal here is really simple. It's purification. All that wealth that was generated from prohibited activities gets channeled away from the bank, away from its owners, and it's put to use for the public good. It is a complete financial cleansing of the bank's entire history. And, it's not just about the money coming in. This same principle applies to the bank's own debts. The institution has to use every legal tool in the book to avoid paying interest on its own loans. The goal is to only repay the principal it borrowed. It has to be a two-way street. Okay, so after you've detoxed the entire old system, it's time to build the new one. And this is all about creating a completely new financial engine, right from scratch. This is a great look at how the old products get replaced. So instead of a normal interest-based car loan, you have something called Morabaha, where the bank actually buys the car first and then sells it to you for a profit that you both agree on up front. A conventional lease becomes an ijara, and those investment bonds? They're replaced with partnerships like Musharaka, where both you and the bank share in the risk and, hopefully, the reward. The focus always shifts from just lending money to financing real, tangible things. We're getting close now. The transformation is almost complete. This next part covers the final obligations, the last things you have to do to cross that finish line and become fully compliant.
A really crucial final piece of this puzzle is something called zakah. You can think of it as an obligatory annual charitable payment in Islam. It's basically a form of wealth tax, and it's all designed to support social welfare and help people in need.
So, as a final act of purification, the bank's owners have to go back, calculate, and pay any zakah that was due from all their previous years of operating as a conventional bank. And here's the really cool part. They can use those very same impermissible, interest-based earnings we were just talking about to make these payments. It ensures that money ultimately gets used for its intended charitable purpose. It all comes full circle. And as you can see, this whole journey is methodical. It's regulated. This is not just changing a logo or a marketing slogan. It's a deep structural transformation that's guided by a formal standard, making sure every single step is done by the book. So when you look at it all, this complex journey is so much more than a rebrand. It's a financial rebirth, and it's rooted in a deep ethical principle. And that leaves us with a big question to think about. In an industry that's often criticized for being detached, what does this kind of deep, almost unimaginable commitment to principle mean for the future of finance and banking everywhere?